Hello, everybody. My name is Zerduku, and let's talk about October Drake with Puppet Master. Now, some of you might actually know that I don't know how many years it's been, but uh, October Drake made a Puppet Master video game. Well, actually, let's talk about the beta test first. It started out with that, which was a simple thing, and then he came out with a full game. Now, I would actually like to mention I am kind of disappointed that it's not the Puppet Master game I imagined it would be, and I'm pretty darn sure some people probably feel that way too. But I honestly feel like October Drake did not fully understand what Puppet Master is really supposed to be, or more or less what it's supposed to be about. More or less, I mean, he's got the character designs down, stuff like that, but there are some elements that are kind of missing. But I'm not going to go too far on that because, as it is, I don't really have a whole lot of time to talk about this. But I'm going to have Dragon Program remind me of some stuff that I've done. I keep in mind I was only able to do this within a night or so to complete all this, and I don't even have enough time to make a thumbnail for this video. So this Christmas is just nuts. It's nuts.
Chapter 1 Intro. This chapter is just a side note to know that I use Dragon Program to write all my things, including communication on Discord. As a result, some things may be either misspelled, words put in the wrong sentences, because that I put this together in a time period where many different things going on that I am going to be leaving out things about suggestions about PCs and so forth. With that being said, if you do not listen to my suggestions about the demonic toys, I swear to God I am going to uninstall the game off my computer and never play it again.
That endpoint is actually kind of true. Okay, so I am a big Demonic Toys fan, and October Drake insisted on adding the Demonic Toys this early. I really feel like it's a little too early for him to be adding the Demonic Toys when he's only got 4 humans to play as and only 3 maps. That is a very small game. Also, one thing I did kind of forget that I really should mention is that I would like to rate the game as in like uh, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I would have to say this is a solid 3.9, pretty close to a 4, because it's a fun game. It is fun for what it is, and I really don't honestly expect it to become anything else because Puppet Master isn't really well known. It doesn't have a big fan base. I mean, it has a cult following, but I would say a very small cult following, if anything else. And Demonic Toys is even worse. Very little people know about the game. I mean, movie, I'm a fucking idiot. You know what? The hell with it. I'm just going to move on to the next thing, the next chapter.
Chapter 2 Humans. To be fair, I do like the humans in this game, their overall game mechanics and how they function along, but how the stats are perfect, but it is unfortunate there's only 4 humans to select. This is why I think it's a little bit early to be adding the demonic toys to the Puppet Master the video game without first making some changes to help the game function better or have a better selection. Unlike the totems, the humans don't have any game mechanics is wrong with them per se, but it would be nice to have some things added. Going over my top 20 humans from the Puppet Master frame size, I would like to suggest adding Sheriff Grade from Puppet Master 6 and Lance from Puppet Master 2.
Yeah, I really don't fully understand the stat basis, and by the way, Dragon Program totally fucked some of that up. But I actually made my own little stat base, and you, October Trick, could tell me how accurate it actually is. It probably is complete garbage and not done right. Yeah, we should totally have Sheriff Grady and Lance at least added from Puppet Master before you should even do demonic toys in the first place. But something tells me you're going to persist because it's Christmas coming, which I understand, but it seems a little too quick. And what the hell with it? We'll just do. Oh, I also added. Oh yeah, that's right. I did add some weapons and stuff. You know what? I'll. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do this one at a time so I can go over it. Easier.
Sheriff Grady's stats health. His health should be 99 and I probably would only give him like average blood drop. Stamina. I would only say about average stamina would make sense for his character. Speed. I would also say about average speed as well. Items. He should definitely start about the game with a magnum. The magnum should have 6 reloads which equals to 36 bullets, 15 points of damage for barely hitting the target, 40 points of damage for an average hit, 111 for a headshot, a 5% chance of ragdoll. The magnum should have a 42% chance of spawning in a map. Strength. I would give the sheriff really good strength. I don't know how the strength is measured in Puppet Master, so I'm just going to say good strength.
That seems like a smart thing to say at this time. Yeah, I don't really fully understand their Octo Drake or anybody who understands the stats better than I do. But yeah, you can leave some comments down below so you can educate the dumb. But yeah, I know that Sheriff Grady never uses a Magnum in Curse of Puppet Master, Puppet Master 6. We'll just say Curse of Puppet Master. Um, but it would be nice to add a different weapon like that, especially with a newer character. And I don't know why, but it would kind of make sense. And actually, the reason why I chose both Lance and Sheriff because they're more likely to add new items to the roster. I do, as if you guys ever watch my top 20 human characters, I like to see. I know you guys probably know I have a lot more ideas that maybe I'm not sure if October Drake remembers that video because that was so long ago, but whatever.
Lance's stats health. His health should be 100 and his blood drop should be average. Yet again, it should be noted that I don't really understand how the blood drop percentage works. Stamina. I would make his stamina average if anything. Be honest, I think it would make more sense for his stats to be more balanced. Speed. Your speed should be balanced with his stamina. Items. He said start out with the infrared camera that sees everything green. The digital infrared camera when picked up should be able to replace your flashlight, which does not shine the light off it and give away your location. With the help of the digital camera, it will allow you to see things in the dark. Lance should also come with an ability where he can set 3 cameras around the map. When an opponent walks by one of these cameras, it will make a beeping noise and Lance can bring up an iPad which allows them to see what the cameras are seen in front of them. The cameras should slowly move from left to right, giving Lance a decent view of his surroundings. It should be noted that the cameras can be destroyed if the puppets in question can attack the cameras on top of the tripods, which is where the small cameras are mounted on. Strength. Lance should have a below average strength.
Okay, first off, this is wrong. It should be he, but Dragon Program will do things like that to me. But honestly, to tell you the truth, that might have been my fault, not Dragon Program's. But regardless, though, yeah, It's kind of weird that the flashlight will shine through walls and give away your location. A drink break. So yeah, this wasn't an idea I had in mind. Also, I would like to mention with Dana, the way she stands now in the game is that she can summon a candle which reveals the location of the other puppets. I really feel like the puppets should be able to destroy the candle because I, it would make sense. I don't know why. I just feel like it would make sense. And I could kind of understand that it'd be like, oh, that means they could just block up Dana's ability. Well, what it could be like is that the candle could be like it has like it can't be destroyed within like 5 seconds or something like that. Actually, you know what? It would make sense if it was like 20 seconds because it would take longer. And uh, the way to know that it can be destroyed is, well, you can have it like when the puppets see it, it has like maybe the candle fire could change colors, maybe like maybe when it's invincible, it could be like a blue flame, and then it turns into regular candlelight when you can destroy it. That would probably make sense. But this idea is something I had for a while for Lance, with the whole idea of using a digital camera. I'm just looking at my timer. Uh, but yeah, this would be kind of cool, and it would add a Slenderman element, which I'm pretty darn sure that's what October Drake is trying to get with Puppet Master, was basically taking ideas from Slenderman. Although that, now that I think about it, that's a that's not a very clever idea, because Puppet Master and Slenderman are very, very different. I kind of like I kind of feel like the Puppet Master game should be all about trying to kill the Puppet Master and stealing his secrets. But like I said before, it's not like October Jack is going to go back and make some changes to his game. He's never going to do it because he can't, which I kind of understand, because there's not that many fans of Puppet Master to begin with, and so therefore he's not going to make much money. As it is, Charles Band is kind of being a dick about it and not letting him take the rights, the rights for Puppet Master. But it's a drama thing I don't want nothing to do with. So moving on.
Before I end off the human chapter, I want to talk about some weapons I would like to be put into the Puppet Master game. Since I have an extremely short time, I will only mention two. The first weapon I would like to mention is a golf club. I let the animation of this weapon to be as if the characters are heading a golf ball, giving the weapon more likely able to hit the small targets. 2 points of damage for barely hitting the target, 20 points of damage for an average hit, 35 points of damage for a headshot. The golf club should have a 75% chance of ragdoll the target. This weapon should be extremely common in every game, so give it a 90% chance of spawning into a map. The second weapon I would like to mention is a fire axe. I feel that there's no need for any kind of fancy animation for this particular weapon. 20 points of damage for barely hitting the target, 50 points of damage for an average hit, 100 points of damage for headshot. I would like this weapon to be one of the most powerful melee weapons in the game, so as a result I think it would be fair to only give it a 2% chance of spawning into a map.
Okay, two things I would like to mention here. Um, Now, I'm not sure if you understand what I'm trying to mean by that, and I try to do the thing, but I'm in a chair, so it's really hard to like. So you hold like a golf club like that, and that's kind of how I kind of. Also, another thing I like to mention is I don't fully understand how the whole ragdolling thing works, and I don't understand how the whole weapon spawning in maps. So I did kind of like a percentage thing, which I'm not even too sure if that's even close to being true. But yeah, making the axe kind of rare would make sense. Especially, I noticed that the shotgun is kind of rare, but I really feel like, okay, I didn't have time to write this down, but it would be awesome if there's another rare um, long range weapon. It'd be cool if if there was like some sort of like German machine gun, or a machine gun from like World War II that rarely spawns on the map. Like it has like a 1% chance, and it's like the ultimate um uh long range weapon. It would also be kind of cool to have a sniper rifle, because that would be cool. um I can kind of imagine a double barrel shotgun as well, because it was in the beta test, and to be honest, the double barrel shotgun in the beta test was very, very fun to use. Now that I think about it, in Demonic Toys, in the very first movie, the chicken guy is what they call what they I'm not sure if they actually mentioned his actual name, but after Charnecki's death, the chicken guy breaks the lock on his and uh, a closet or something. Or no, it was a I think it's a cabinet where there was a lock, and he breaks the lock and he takes the double barrel shotgun out of there. Also, side note, since we're talking about characters, but characters in Demonic Toys, it would be kind of weird at this time to add the human characters from Demonic Toys when you only have 4 Puppet Master characters, when there's a whole roster of human characters you could add it. Adding them now would be kind of like a disservice to Puppet Master, I think. But you know what? Let's just move on to the next thing. And I'm pretty darn sure my timer's going to go up soon, so the hell with this.
Chapter 3 Totems. It is appreciated, I guess, that you did eventually add the totems as part of the Puppet Master game, but they're just too difficult to play as. I almost kind of feel like to play as the totems requires a skill that can't be learned. It almost feels like it's a skill that you just have to be good at and that's it. My biggest problem is the Dark Pharaoh, which is Zudek. I probably butchered that name, but I hope you understand. My biggest problem with it is that the Dark Pharaoh's lightning ability is inefficient to be a dominator, compared to Decaptron. With that being said, I am kind of amazed at the imagination involved in making other totems since they don't exist in the Puppet Master franchise. It concerns me now that I think about it. If you are planning to make a few more killer toys that were a part of the Nazi toys, since I really did not care for them and I'm pretty darn sure other Puppet Master fans stood with much care for them neither. But it does make me wonder. So here are my suggestions on making the totems lot more easier to play as. First things first, the Dark Pharaoh really needs to be fixed. The first thing you should do is make the Dark Pharaoh's lightning ability have 4 shots and only having a 2-second recharge, allowing the players to spam lightning attacks. The lightning attacks should only ragdoll his opponents if it's a headshot, or all 4 hits get a direct shot. We should also get rid of the charge ability where he lights on fire and knocks people down with a ragdoll effect in. Replace it with the ability where he can phase through doors with a 20-second cooldown ability. Adding this ability in the concept of a lightning ability would make the Dark for your own a more equal dominator. Even though I don't really much care for the Nazi toys that much, can we at least add Blitzkrieg as a totem? Adding Blitzkrieg as a total would add more diversity to the totems and possibly an even better projectile character, and then Mephisto.
Yeah, I didn't much care for the Nazi uh, killer toys, and I believe it's Axe is Rising, whatever. But I think Blitzkrieg was the one exception. Adding him as a totem with would actually help balance the totems a lot more. Um, and also, like I said before, with Zutek, the Dark Pharaoh, whatever totem that he takes possessing of, it would be cool if he could just spam lightning, and it would actually make him more dominating and a more threatening, you know, killer toy to deal with. What you could do with Blitzkrieg, since I didn't add it because I was low on time, is that with the first click. Oh crap! I forgot to make that. God damn it! Now you're not gonna understand. Uh, so I don't understand my left and rights. Okay, so what I do when I talk about the left and right uh, click button is that I got so you got the first click, which is on, well, my camera's reversed, but still on this side it's the first click, and then you got the second click on the other side. So with the first click with the mouse, you shoot just a regular machine gun that doesn't do a lot of damage, and the second one shoots the other side, which is more like a cannon shot and does more damage. And you can shoot both of them, and they have a difference. Like, well, they reload. They have like the cannon has less would have less ammo, but they can reload kind of simultaneously. Is one way you can make it. I would make him a little fast, but not too fast. The only two abilities I would give him is like if like enemies get too close, he has an ability to send off like an electric charge, which ragdolls anybody who tries to hit him close range. And perhaps a thing. Well, we're past the 20-minute mark, but anyways, it doesn't matter. And also, make it so when his eyes glow red, he can see in the dark or whatever. He makes everything look red, almost like infrared. That would be kind of cool. But anyways, that would be a good idea to add him as part of the totems. Like I said, it would balance it out. But regardless, uh,
Chapter 4 Puppets. I wouldn't change anything about the puppets. Their stats and teams are absolutely perfect. But with that being said, can be added Ninja from Puppet Master Axis of Evil? Having Ninja as a stealth support member would actually be extremely cool, especially if you give them the ability to hang on to walls.
hang on a second. I am a dumb idiot. I am the dumb. I was supposed to have this set ahead of time, but I'm so stupid. I had a dumb. Who the fuck is Album Maplethorpe?
Chapter 4 Puppets. I wouldn't change anything about the puppets. Their stats and teams are absolutely perfect. But with that being said, can be added Ninja from Puppet Master Axis of Evil? Having Ninja as a stealth support member would actually be extremely cool, especially if you give them the ability to hang on to walls and other high surfaces with the high jump ability and be completely cloaked to invisibility until he starts attacking by throwing ninja stars as a projectile weapon. If he had this character, it would be really awesome.
One thing I would like to mention real quickly is, like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to think about what it was I was writing or what I was doing. But Torch as one of my favorite puppets. I really don't really like the grenade that he throws. Would it be cool if it like when you throw it overhand, it actually sticks to its opponents, then explodes like a sticky grenade? That would be so much more awesome. But regardless, though, having Ninja, I understand that Ninja was only in one movie, but it would be kind of cool if you can make him hang on to like certain surfaces, kind of like Ninja Gaiden almost. But he actually just stays there, and he has like an visibility like an ability he can activate that makes him invisible and doesn't really, well, it has a cooldown, but it doesn't go away unless he starts attacking. Making it would make him kind of like a stealth support character, which I know that technically we already have a bunch of those, but making them like that and just throw ninja stars and stuff, I wouldn't make the ninja stars do that much damage unless it hits, the humans or other any target in the head with, the ninja stars. But honestly, that would be the only attack I would really give him. I wouldn't give him any close range attacks, just make him so he can just like, jump real high, kind of like gesture and just like hang on to surfaces and turn invisible and attack. But that's pretty much all I really have to say for that. So let's just move on. You know what? We'll just do the whole thing. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, keep an eye on this there, October Drake, because this is a good one.
Chapter 5 Games. As it stands right now, there are only 3 mods that you can play in this game, but I have some suggestions that I really wish you can take into account. I'll explain as much of them as I can in detail to help you understand. Yet again, I should note that I don't really have a whole lot of time, so there's some ideas I'm going to leave out. First mod idea, Puppet Wars. I know that this technically was in the beta test game, but here's what you could do different. It's a 4v4 match, and it can be either puppets versus totems or totems versus toys or puppets versus toys. It is up to the host to make that decision. The goal of the game would be gets the most kills before the time goes out. It would be awesome to have a choice for the host of 3 different times to choose for each match. A short match could be like 10 minutes. An average match can be like 20 and a longer match can be 30 minutes. I feel like a lot more people would play the game if there was a puppet war option. In matter of fact, if I remember correctly, during the beta version of the game, most people just play Puppet Wars because there isn't a lot of Puppet Master fans. I would like to leave a side note on the subject that part of the reason why there isn't a whole lot of people playing the game is because it's more expensive to buy a computer than a console. If you make this game compatible for a console and a computer players to connect to each other, then there'll be a little more players. Second mod idea. Capture the flag. I think this is an awesome idea because with the attic map, you can make it where the blue and red flag can spawn on the 2 different floors. If you haven't guessed, this is another 4v4 mod. Obviously the goal of the game is to get each flag to each other flag. But if you design it where it's similar to like Unreal Tournament, where toys on the blue team touch her flag and automatic response back to its regular place instead of having to carry it back to home base, then this game would be insanely fun. As terms of how many captures of the flag should be in a game, I wouldn't go any higher than 10 as a choice option for the host, otherwise it would be too much. Third and final mod idea. Survive the night instead of the humans having to collect items or complete objectives. What if it's like you have to survive for a certain amount of time, allowing the humans the ability to hide away from the killer toys? Like imagining the host making it so the humans a question after survive either 10 minutes, 20 minutes or even 30. I can imagine that being a more scarier mod than any other game be come up with for this particular game. This would definitely be a 2v4 mod, and when the time is up they have to get to the elevator to win the game. Side note about the elevator. I think it should work a little bit more like this. When you press the button to close the door, if there are any enemies in the elevator with you, you have to kill them off for the elevator to activate for your escape. When the door closes and locks out all of the other killer toys so they can't get inside to help the other toys that are already in with the humans.
That needs some explaining at the end there. But uh, starting with this idea with Puppet Wars, I'm pretty darn sure you probably might feel a little uneasy with just calling it Puppet Wars, but there's not really too many ideas that you could really call it anything else. Oh, what the hell was that? Anyways, you could either call it like Attack of the Killer Toys or Toy Wars, Killer Toy Wars, perhaps War of the Killer Toys. Um, yeah, or just call it Deathmatch. You could call it that too. There's many different ways of calling it, whatever. But this would help a lot with not having a lot of Puppet Master fans and not a lot of people playing, because you can just have 1 versus 1 matches or 2 versus 1 match, puppets and toys, and being able to select puppets, totems, and demonic toys would help. I don't know, would actually make it so doesn't really need that many people to play, and having, I think 10 minutes might be a little too much for even for a short game. Might be. Uh, you could cut it down to, you can make an extra shorter match, like, I don't know, like 7 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes. I don't know. I feel like this is something that really needs to be tested out. And speaking of that, I would be happy to be your game tester there, October Drake, because I could probably point out some things for you on that. Alrighty, so let's talk about Capture the Flag. One thing I forgot to mention is I had this idea of wherever the blue flag and red flag spawn, there's like this dot space that's underneath it. So if both flags are captured, it doesn't really matter. You still just need to get to your main base area. You just have to get to that blue dot, even if the flag isn't there. And it would be awesome and kind of funny if you did borrow some of the stuff from like the original Unreal Tournament, where it's like uh, blue flag tumbled or some thumbled. I don't know how to say that word. I apologize, but I don't think you could do that even for a free game. I think you might get sued. But it would be fun. It'd be funny and fun to do it. I like the idea of capture the flag. I know it might lose a little bit of the horror element, but I feel like that's, at this point, it really doesn't really feel like an actual Puppet Master game in terms of even if you just play Thief or any of the other mods that you already, it doesn't feel 100% Puppet Master. I kind of feel like the way that you set your game up, it really should be its own thing almost. Almost. I mean, it can still have elements of Puppet Master in it, but adding like different like things like like a death match, quote unquote, uh, and a capture the flag would make the game more fun, I think, and that will add more people, even those who are not Puppet Master fans or or Demonic Toy fans, because less people heard of Demonic Toys than Puppet Master. But Survive the Night, uh, I gotta explain that whole elevator thing, but I'll get to that later. But this was an idea to make the game more scarier. They have a mod that's really scary. Imagine it's kind of like almost a Dead by Daylight idea, but you still can defend yourself against the attackers, the toys, if you want to call it that. Uh, and now that I think about it, we're going back with the idea there's probably not that much place. You could make it so you can have either one or two humans. Like the host can switch it to like just one human and a certain amount of. Well, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go any lower than three killer toys because what I discovered is having two puppets against one human is almost impossible, especially when you're fighting. That's another thing I need to mention is I really wish you can make it where if there are multiple humans in a match, that they can't select the same human. Because there was one match where we were fighting two Gallaghers, and that was impossible. It was really hard to do enough damage to take him down. He Gallagher is fine for what for his stats, but it would be more balanced if human players are forced to play different humans. Taking a drink break. Now let's talk about the elevator real quick. What I mean by that is, okay, so you go to this. So when the elevator act opens up and you go to it, you press the button, the door closes. But instead of the game instantly ending, if there's like any opponents in the elevator, you have to kill them off. But with the door shut, not only even projectile puppets or killer toys can't hit you. So there's nothing they can do to help the other toys inside. I think that would make it more fair and less like make it where it's like, oh, the elevator's there, so that makes you automatically win, which is kind of unfair. I feel for the puppets. You know what? Let's move on, shall we?
Chapter 6 Maps. The thing that is a sign that you're definitely rushing this game is that there's only 3 maps, and you want to add the demonic toys? I think we need at least 2 other maps to make the game have more selection. And I also kind of know that making maps in a video game is very difficult, but I think what the game needs is like the first floor to the hotel and definitely a large map where it's like Germany from Puppet Master 3, where it's similar to the October map from the beta test game, except that it has buildings that you can explore, making the map bigger than the attic. However, I'm sure that you're probably holding off maps because it's more difficult to design, but these are just ideas.
I agree with that totally because um the um having I can kind of see that you're just each individual map is kind of like the Bega Bidet hotel, and having the first floor would make it would kind of make it more complete, and having the first floor, Rick's lab, and the attic. I think those three maps should complete the Bodega Bidet in maps. And then after that, you should start making maps from the different Puppet Master franchise. And eventually, if you're going to have the demonic toys, eventually you're going to have to do the um it's a building where they store toys. I don't know what they storage house storage facility. I have no idea what it's called because it wasn't. wasn't really explained in the movie. And yes, I am a fan, but it's not like fans do research on obscure movies like Demonic Toys. So don't think me as a big fat liar, because trust me when I say I love Demonic Toys, and I watched that movie at least 50 times. But yeah, now that I think about it, I don't really know what the name of the storage building is called. But eventually, yeah, you would have to get around to making it, but just not right away. I would wait off maybe a couple more Decembers, a couple more years before doing that, and focus more on Puppet Master, because there isn't a whole lot of Puppet Master in the Puppet Master game, which is saying a lot for us Puppet Master fans. To be fair, yes, I am more of a Demonic Toy fan than a Puppet Master fan, but I feel like it's an insult to Puppet Master when you only have 3 maps and 4 human characters from Puppet Master. That's not a whole lot of Puppet Master. Not to mention, even the selection of puppets is incomplete. You're missing Ninja, and you're also missing Cyclops. Well, I don't know. Is Doctor Death and Cyclops another setting of toys? Killer toys? I'm not. I wouldn't really know. I wouldn't say so, because they're still part of the Puppet Master roster. And honestly, to tell you the truth, there is a Rito 6 shooter and a Rito Blade. Although Rito Blade looks very different from the original Blade, with the cowboy hat and the 3 knife hand and a regular knife on the other side. Yeah. I mean, having more selection of puppets would make more sense. So yeah, I really feel like just like I feel like the Rito version of like characters that are already on the Puppet Master can just be costumes, but you get characters like Doctor Death and Cyclops could be their own thing. But even Ninja, even though Ninja is not a Rito, but still. Well, my point is, there's really not a whole lot of Puppet Master in Puppet Master the game, and that's what concerns me, especially with the design of Mr. Static, which is one of the demonic toys. When I saw the teaser trailer, just why his face is so flat. I mean, that's not what he looks like unless you're trying to make your own version. But even your own version looks like shit. No offense, but it's just I don't know. I don't know. But that's just what I'm thinking in terms of the Puppet Master of the game, and I'm pretty darn sure some of the fans are probably thinking the same thing, sort of, more or less. But alrighty, so we now finally got into the demonic toys. This had to be interesting. You know what? Let's take this one piece at a time, because I'm gonna have to explain this.
Chapter 7 Demonic Toys. If you persist on adding the demonic toys, the one thing I should mention is I would like them to play kind of like the puppets, where they don't require any kind of unique skill to learn. It should be more like something that you can pick up and play. The only real big difference I would make between the puppets and the toys is that the demonic toys should have a little more health than the toys, making them a little bit tanky. Before I get started on listing down the demonic point characters, there's a few notes I would like to make. I don't know my left and right, so when I say first mouse click, I mean the button on the mouse where you press to do a normal attack, if they understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I should have went to Paint Program and like drew a mouse and then like label it so you can understand what that means. Like, but I'm not too sure if you're getting it. But yeah. Regardless, though, yeah, I would make the demonic toys a little more tanky than the puppets. Like, I feel like the toys should take a little more abuse than the puppets, even though, yes, the toys lost in every single one of their movies, but still, it wasn't. I don't think it was a matter of them being weak. I think it was a matter of the demonic toys are just stupid. They're retarded. Like I remember when I was rewatching demonic toys recently, and just well for reasons. And there's a part where the spoilers, by the way, where the chicken guy takes a chemical spray and a lighter and makes a flamethrower, and he burns Mr. Static and Baby Oopsie Daisy. Now, when I was watching that, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, that's retarded. Like, honestly, the toy should have been like, oh, fire and a chemical spray. Yeah, Mr. Static, just wait until like give him a second to wait until he sprays about to spray, and then shoot the can in his hand, and it would explode and light on fire from the plasma bolts, and both the chicken guy and the girl would be dead. I know that would make it whether it's not a movie, but that's just a little explanation of just how dumb the demonic toys can be. When in fact, if you think about it, the powers that the demonic toys have are just very, very powerful. And I hope that October Drake does it right, so it makes it so the demonic toys are very easy to play and therefore fun. But that doesn't mean that you would make it so it's really difficult for the totems and the puppets to take them down. But it would make it more fun. But regardless, I'm getting off topic here. Let's start with Baby Oopsie Daisy, shall we? Fuck! Fuck! I'm an idiot.
First demonic toy, Baby Oopsie Daisy. Health. Baby Oopsie Daisy's health should only be 80, with only a 1% resistance to damage. Speed. I would only give Baby Oopsie Daisy speed 45%. It should be that fast or that slow kind of average, for basically he is a leader type. Weapons and abilities. Baby Oopsie Daisy should have like 2 weapons, a knife and a hammer. Starting with a knife should have 5 points of damage for barely hitting the target, 18 points of damage for an average hit, 50 points of damage for headshot. Baby Oopsie Daisy hammer should operate the same way as Pinhead's wrench, where you hold the second click mouse button to charge it up and release to do enormous amount of damage. I don't think it's necessary to go over the specific amounts of damage because I think you get the idea what I'm getting at here. Although I don't think UB Daisy should have any abilities I can think of that would make sense, but I would like to know a few things, mainly for his dialogue. When he gets ragdolled, it would be funny if he said, "Bomber," like he says in the first Demonic Toys movie. One of the lines that would be really funny for him to say when he gets hit is, "Shit, you hit me, now I am fucking dying lol." There's a lot more lines that I could come up with for Baby Oopsie Daisy, but I think the bomber one should definitely be a thing. Finisher. What I would like his finisher to be is that he stabs the human in question in the crotch with a knife, then laughs as he takes out the hammer and bashes the human in the skull with the hammer. Oopsie Daisy lol.
Ah, Skull! Dragon Program, you're an idiot! You're an idiot! Well, I can't fix it right now anyways. But, okay, so Dragon Program made some mistakes there. But what I'm trying to get at is, well, in the first Demonic Toys, the chicken guy is and crawling around the vents, and he kicks Baby Oopsie Daisy in the chest, and he says, like, "Bomber!" That's a really good. Wow. Maybe I should do the voices for Baby Oopsie Daisy. But no, I don't think I'm really voice material. So no. At least I don't think so. Um, but yeah, I really would like Baby Oopsie to have some things. One thing I did kind of mess up though. I think it should be more like 3% resistant to damage, maybe 3 or 5. I think 5 would make sense because Baby Oopsie Daisy takes a lot of punishment and stuff. So I would imagine him to be a little more tougher than that. So maybe I made a mistake. Sorry there, October Drake. You know, I have to admit, even I make mistakes. So, it's not a good thing, but sometimes you just look at yourself and you're just like, why was I so stupid there? I'm pretty darn sure at this point you're probably after making uh, Puppet Master. You're like, why did I not just do this instead? Why did I make it like this? This was a mistake. Sometimes we can't go back on our mistakes. It's pretty terrible. Like with that whole thing saying school, it should be skull. Dragon program. You're a fucking idiot. How can you not know the difference? Moving on. Oh yeah. Definitely listen to this. I did a lot of work on this one with Grizzly Teddy. So let's do this.
Second demonic toy, Grizzly Teddy. I would like Grizzly Teddy to be the dominator for the demonic toys. Important side note, Grizzly Teddy is going to have 3 forms based off of the movie. As a result, his stats can be split into 3 parts. Health, first form HP should be 110. Second form is 200 HP. Third and final form should have 300 HP. I will explain more when I get to weapons and abilities. Speed. First form speed should be 20%. Second form should have 50% speed. Third final form should have 85% speed. Weapons and abilities. I think I should explain Grizzly Teddy's abilities first to help get an understanding of what I want for this killer teddy bear. When he first spawns in the game, he only has one attack, and that is to bite other opponents' butt. He comes with a damage meter that starts at 0. In his first form, his biting ability does not give him any extra abilities. For a minor hit, the biting attack only does 10 points of damage, 16 points of damage for an average head, 30 points for headshot. Once the damage meter reaches 30 hit points, then Grizzly Teddy transforms into a second form. It should be noted, when Teddy transforms, he is unable to move for 5 seconds but is also immune to damage during that time. Once Grizzly Teddy's is in second form, he can now use his Grizzly Claws to attack. And even worse, Grizzly's biting attack now can gain him HP back based on the damage he does. 16 points of damage of a minor hit of the Grizzly Claws, 25 points of damage for an average hit, 100 points of damage for headshot. Now the damage meter must reach 100 points of damage order for Grizzly Teddy to take his third and final form. If Grizzly successfully does so, he becomes the size of the humans and can break down doors with only a 5-second cooldown. Once the doors have been destroyed, it cannot respawn. It should be noted, even in this form, Grizzly cannot destroy the door to the elevator. In his third and final form, Grizzly has the power to ragdoll humans by throwing them against the wall or any object. If Grizzly successfully throws the human into a wall or any stationary object, then the human will receive 25 points of damage. It should be noted, for each form Grizzly takes, that he doesn't regain any health that he has lost. He requires either outside help or his biting ability to regain his HP. So, when Grizzly takes his form, whatever HP he has when he transforms is what he has intervened, able to heal himself or somebody heals him. Finishers. Each of Grizzly forms has a different finisher. In his first form, he just rips the throat out of the human and the human bleeds to death. In his second form, he literally rips off the face of the human and devours the human's face. In
Oh,
his third form, he picks up the human, sticks his hand inside of the human's chest, and then literally rips them in half.
yeah. Wow. Old me, old like 3 nights ago me. Just wow. Yeah, that's those are some cool ass finishers. But I'm not sure if you're getting it. You know what? Just to add some visual, whatever. Well, not visual, but you know, more of understanding, I guess, or picture, whatever in the background. Yeah, having Grizzly Teddy in his first form, yeah, he just bites, and he doesn't. And his biting ability doesn't have like a specialist stat ability, which means it doesn't heal until he reaches second form. Yeah, then he can heal himself by doing damage. Uh, and it doesn't have a cooldown like with the totems. He can spam bite basically, and that would make him extremely dangerous. I think he would become one of the most dangerous dominators, even worse than Decapitron. Although I think even in Grizzly Teddy's third form, he can still be ragdolled by Decapitron's um, what's it called? The Tesla coil. My brain is not working. But yeah, so so it would still make it so it's possible to take down Grizzly Teddy, but I feel like making him the way I want him to be made would be kind of like if he spawns at all on the map, it's like, oh my god, you got to take out Teddy quickly, otherwise he's going to be a problem and stuff. And yeah, especially when he comes into his big form, he can just throw people around. Kind of like the giant from last year almost. But anyways, I didn't stop to think about there are actual like okay, so in the attic there's a thing where if you jump off the fence as the puppets and you go down and you die, but humans can't jump in the game, but having the teddy could throw you off the fence. Um Thinking about that, I didn't stop to think about that when I was writing this and realizing that could be a problem. But what you could do is design it where the teddy can't do that. Like if you throw them against like the air of the fence, over the fence, it's kind of like an invisible wall. It just bounces them back, and it doesn't do any damage. So it just like make it so the that Grizzly Teddy is forced to throw them against the wall and not try to throw people off the map and cheat with instant kills. uh, or you can actually be smart and redesign those maps. Like you can make it so there is a bottom to the attic, just that, but it's a dead end basically. And over the balcony, there's you can make it like a stairway where you can get back up to the balcony, but also at, at over the balcony it's just woods, and there's a wall of trees where people can't like basically it makes it so you can't just wander off in the infinite woods of Nowheresville, if you know what I mean by that. That would be a better way of doing it instead of making like the invisible wall thing, because I think the invisible wall thing might be difficult to program. But I'm not sure because I never tried to make video games before, just because they're too complicated to understand. Because you have to know algebra to actually know how to make video games. But yeah, definitely do this for a Grizzly Teddy, because this would be perfect. Because that would make him the most dangerous of all the Dominators. All right, let's move on to Jack Attack, which is the Jack in the Box. I know my killer toys. Don't judge me. I'm too much of a nerd.
Third demonic toy, Jack Attack Health. The Jack in the Box's HP should be 90, with 0 resistance to damage. Speed. The Jack in the Box speed I would put at 75%. It would make more sense if the Jack in the Box was almost as fast as Tunneler. Important side note, the Jack in the Box should be slithering around like a snake without carrying a box around. Weapons and abilities. The Jack in the Box's first weapon is his teeth. Using the first mouse click button, the player should be able to rapid bite, but if the player bites a human and hold down the first mouse click button along with holding the S key down at the same time, can hold the human in question in place. Jack should be able to hold a human can play successfully as long as the players are holding those two buttons until the human in question ragdolls Jack by punching or kicking or any attack available. It should be noted when using the hold down teeth attack on small opponents, Jack Attack should be able to pick up small opponents and toss them against a wall or stationary object that will instantly ragdoll the opponent and do enormous amount of damage. Using the second mouse click allows Jack to use his knife at the tip of his tail to jab his opponents. Jack Attack should have two abilities. Using the E key, Jack should be able to wrap around his opponents and rapidly use his teeth in his knife-like tail to constantly do damage for a short period of time before he lets go. Using this ability on a puppet will hold small opponent in place and take multiple points of damage for a short period of time before he lets go, but the small opponent in question can spam an attack doing damage to Jack to get loose faster. Using the Q key, Jack Attack should retreat into his box, which appears on wherever location he is at. While he's inside of the box, he is immune to damage and cannot move, but his box should have collision effect, making it so humans cannot walk over the box, allowing players to potentially block players within dead-end rooms. However, to nerf this ability, when Jack Attack activates his box, the pop goes, the Weasel song slowly plays, and when the song is finished, the box disappears with a 30-second cooldown effect. However, the player should have the ability to speed up the music by holding down the first click button to accelerate the music, and when Jack Attack pops out of the box, he can jump high in the air and use any of his normal mouse attacks to surprise any players. Finisher. I would like Jack Attack's finisher to be that he wraps around the human's body and uses his knife tail to cut into their throat until he decapitates them. Fourth demonic toy, Amber Static.
Yeah, I must have been too far with the highlight. So let's talk about Jack Attack real quick, shall we? So basically what I'm getting at, which I don't know why I said the word sing, because that's Dragon Programs is stupid. But the idea is that to make Jack Attack sort of kind of like a support type of you know, toy, but not a healing support toy, but more of like a support toy that's all about holding the opponent still. One thing I kind of like failed to mention, when he wraps around the human targets using that wrap ability, using I think it was the E key. I could be wrong, but anyways, basically you can move when you're being wrapped around by Jack Attack, but it prevents you from running, which makes it so the other demonic toys can hit you while you're being, attacked by, Jack Attack by being wrapped. But while you're wrapped, when the humans are wrapped, they can either attempt to ragdoll the Jack Attack off him by punching him in the face or something. They're trying to get him off. I think what you should do is, like, you have to when you're wrapped as a human, you have to rapidly press the E key to get him loose, like rapid tap the E key. Get off of me, you stupid son of a bitch! and and yeah, eventually when he does get up, it ragdolls Jack Attack, and then he gets, after he's done being ragdolled, he will slither back after you and stuff. Now with the whole biting thing, the idea is it prevents you from running and walking away, and it's kind of like kind of similar to from Dead by Daylight's Deathstalker, no, Death Slinger, where he shoots the harpoon and he holds it back. But actually, it's done differently. Rather than a projectile, you have to actually hold the mouse button to bite. The opponents in question. You can do this with the puppets too, and you can hold them and hold the enemies in place by holding the backwards S key and holding down the attacking button, mouse key, first mouse click. There we go. And just hold the enemies in place while the other toys come in and just like gang bang whoever's like being hold still. I like the whole finisher idea though that I put there. He just like cuts their throat and decapitates them, and that way I can just go decapitation if I decide to do recordings of me playing Puppet Master. Which, okay, so for those who are wondering why I'm not doing recordings of me playing Puppet Master, it's because that I don't really have any friends to play with. That's the problem. But regardless, so let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Fuck. You know what? To make it so I don't have to. Where are you, Mr. Static? There you are. We'll use you as a background thing. By the way, quick side note: his face is not flat. Why? Why did you make his face flat there in October Drake? I want to know why. What were you thinking? He almost has kind of like an acorn head, almost. But he does look cool. I do like. Oh, fuck's sake! I hate everything.
Fourth demonic toy, Amber Static Health. I would like Amber Static's HP to be 82, with a 10 points resistance to damage. Speed. I would make Amber Static slightly faster than 6 Shooter, which would make him not a very fast killer toy but with decent speed, weapons and abilities. Amber Static's first and obvious weapon should be shooting blue balls of plasma. You should be able to shoot 10 balls of plasma rapidly by holding the first mouse click button before having to reload infinitely. Each blast should give off 3 seconds of fire damage, 15 points of damage for a minor hit, 25 points of damage for an average hit of each shot, 50 points of damage for headshot. Amber Static should come with 2 abilities. Using the Q key will send out a shock wave of blue energy around Amber Static of 16 meters. Any opponents that are calm the blast will take 50 points of damage with a 20-second cooldown, forcing players to hesitate to get too close to Amber Static. Using that E key will make Amber Static eyes light up red, which will reveal the locations of all enemies to all the other demonic toys for 5 seconds, with a 30-second cooldown. Finisher. I would like Amber Static's finisher to be where he shoots the human in question in the chest 2 times before finishing them off by shooting them in the head with each shot, with a zoom into Amber Static's eyes glowing red.
I would like only 2 shots of that, close up of his eyes turning red, because otherwise it will get kind of like choppy. But okay, so Mr. Static's yeah, I actually did pretty well with explaining that. I think, yeah, the first click button, which is the regular attack button. Okay, I would like to mention this real quickly, if I can, to October Drake, since I'm probably this probably is an hour-long video by now. But anyways, yeah, it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the whole control thing, like. I don't really much like that the changing controls is like there's like a master control explain. I wish there was like, okay, so here's your controls for humans and here's your controls for the killer toys. And they're a lot more simpler. Like, a kick is a kick, a punch is a punch, and not, instead of all this weird nonsense stuff, it makes it so it's impossible to change the controls. But regardless, though, I hope you're getting the idea, the first mouse click idea. It's like, okay, so the first mouse click would be like, okay, if you're playing as human and you have a gun, it would be like, it's the shooting key on the mouse. If that makes any sense. But yeah, I think there's not really much for me to say. I think Dragon Program, with me explaining it, is perfect, except for the saying seconds thing. I remember it wouldn't put the word second, so I had to hand type it, and my spelling sucks. So I apologize for that, because there's absolutely nothing I could have done. Diablo, no wonder why I couldn't say this with Dragon Program. I can't even say it in real life. Divalado, whatever.
5th demonic toy, Divaletto. Important side note. Dragon Program does not understand the name of this character, so I cannot say the name of this character without using copy and paste techniques. Health. This character should have 80 horsepower with a 5 resistance to damage. Speed. I
Horsepower.
would like this character to be extremely fast. Like I would like him to be just as fast as Tunler. Weapons and abilities. This character should have 2 weapons. The first weapon is a sewing needle that he can stab at close range. His second weapon should be devil pitchforks that when he throws at his opponents not only does damage but also does a 3-second burn status affect damage. I would like the range and damage to be kinda similar to Jester's throwing darts. The only difference I would make is that the pitchforks do slightly more damage than the throwing darts. I think his only ability should be where when a player uses the Q key that he is able to heal any of the demonic toys in front of him with plus 50 horsepower anybody he targets, with a 30-second cooldown effect. Finisher. I don't honestly know what kind of finisher I would like for this character, but I guess you can just use your imagination there, October Drake.
Horsepower. HP is hit points, you dumbass. Oh my god. The Dragon Program is an idiot. Oh my god. And people think that computers are gonna take over the world. Oh my god. Okay, now this video has just gotten silly. But all right, DiBoletto. Huh. Yeah, the idea of him healing other uh toys makes him a little bit like Jester, which I kind of imagine him being like. But I don't know what I could do for the finisher. Like just like yeah, I was on a short time, so I didn't have much time to think about it. But I can't really think of a finisher. Although there was that one cool kill in Demonic Toys 2 where he drops a sword on a guy's head and although that was help him maybe use it easy, but still. I like that kill though, out of all of Diablo's kills. You know what he could do is where he throws the sewing needle into their eye and it pushes in it through their eye into their brain and just moves it on the other side and pulls it out and he just has two eyeballs on his sewing needle. That's one cool kill that you could do. I think that one would be brutal now that I think about it. Or he could like throw the two pitchforks into their two eyes and their face just lights up on fire and they're dead. That's another one you could do. There's all kinds of different ideas you could do, especially with the abilities that I gave him. Uh, I don't know, but yeah, I would like Diabolello to be a little bit like Jester, with the idea that he can heal others. But instead of a needle, he uses his hands to cast some sort of magical spell that has kind of like um well, it's more of an ability than a weapon. So it's not like with Jester where he switched to a needle that has the reagent, but instead it's for him you just press like a certain one of the keys, probably like Q or something I think I said, and he just and then you can have an animation where there's like purple magic energy that comes out of his hands that he shoots at another toy and they just heal. Is probably what I'm probably was thinking. And you know what? That would sound kind of cool. Magic is awesome. All right, here's the last one.
Sixth demonic toy, zombie toy. Important side note, Dragon Program does not understand the name of this character, so I cannot say the name of this character without using copy and paste techniques. Health, I think this character should have 50 horsepower with a 10 points of damage resistance. Speed, I think this character should be very fast. If I was to take a shitty guess, I would say about 80% of speed. I think I've matter said this before, but I don't fully understand how the speed works in the video game, so pick your poison, I guess. Weapons and abilities. This character should have two weapons. A tiny machete that he can attack a close range
What?
with and a machine gun that he can attack long range from. I think this character should be more like a glass cannon type of character than anything else. For his machete, 17 points of damage for a minor hit, 27 points of damage for an average hit, 50 points of damage for headshot. For his machine gun he should have 20 bullets with infinite reload, 8 points of damage for a minor hit, 16 points of damage for an average hit, 40 points of damage for headshot. Finisher, it would be awesome if his execution or finisher is where he hops on top of the human's chest and then slices open the throat with the machete and then shoot them in the head with the machine gun.
But not machete. It's machete. It's machete. Get it right. It's a knife. A dough. It's a thing that you use to cut branches going through the jungle. But anyways, Dragon Program could make a very good try not to laugh because it's just the things it says. Yeah. Oh my god. All right, so with the zombie toy, which is actually from Domain versus Demonic Toys, is the GI Joe action figure, and I don't know if October Drake has the power to make an actual GI Joe uh, toy instead of just like I don't know something like this where it's a zombified GI Joe, but I would probably just get rid of the hair and have him like bald and be like a zombie like toy. This knife looks weird. Just let you know. but the machine gun looks about the way I kind of imagine it to be. Uh, but a regular machete and just like yeah, I would make him smaller and more harder to hit than the other toys, and he has a lot of resistance to damage. But yeah, pretty much I'm pretty darn sure you get it. But this is some sort of like, just to let everybody know, this is a fan art that somebody did. I don't know who the hell this is, but yeah. All I can say is whoever made this, whoever you are, two thumbs up. That looks great. I kind of liked it, although like the little knife thing is a little weird. It doesn't look like a machete. It looks like a butcher blade or something. I have no idea. But yeah, that's how I would do it. And yeah, I'm pretty darn sure October Drake is probably going to persist with the demonic toys. But if you are October Drake, take these, all this stuff I said about demonic toys into account. Definitely, especially with the whole thing I did for Grizzly Teddy, because I feel like that's it. Like it should be like that, because that was Teddy's power in the movie. So why wouldn't you not do that? I mean, why wouldn't you? Well, anyways, there, guys. And October Drake, if you're watching, god damn, this is an hour and 10. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. But regardless, please like and subscribe, and please get back to me on some comments there, Puppet Master and Demonic Toy fans. And this is Zerdugu signing out.